It's your girl Dominique, and we're going to get started. Welcome in. Welcome in. Um, I'm not going to be burning a candle tonight. I'm going to be burning my infuser. The fragrance that I'm going to be using this evening is going to be Cool Breeze. I already have my water in here, and I'm not going to be burning a candle tonight. I just got a um, infuser. Cool Breeze is the fragrance that I'm going to be using. If you have been watching my channel, you know that I got this from the Black Wall Street here in Atlanta, in Decatur, Georgia. It smells amazing. Go check it out. I did a video on it. You have to put a little water in there. Uh-oh. Making a mess, y'all. Wasting all my water and my fragrance out, right? All right. So here's my infuser. I'm going to put it over there. It has my top to it. This infuser, guys, it has different volumes, speeds, and all that good stuff. So there it is. Amazing. Smells amazing. So sometimes I burn an infuser. Sometimes it's going to be, what you call it, candle. But I just had a feeling for burning infuser tonight, or infuser. So welcome in. Welcome back to the channel. Let me pull my little notes up. I'm going to be drinking hibiscus tea tonight. It is a cold, chill hibiscus tea. If you are rocking with me, you know that I fixed hibiscus tea on one of my other videos. Go back and watch it, how to make it. I have fresh squares lemons inside of my hibiscus tea. Go back and watch the video. It's going to tell you the benefits of hibiscus tea. Okay? So welcome back to the channel. Put a green heart in the chat if you are rocking with me tonight, the whole entire night on this series, or on this topic that we're going to be talking about tonight. As you read the title, we're going to be talking about feminine energy. Feminine energy. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to thumbs up the live. I am Dominique. This is Feminine Health and Wellness, and tonight we're going to be talking about feminine energy. What feminine energy looks like when it comes to abundance, being trusting. So this is tea time after dark. I'm going to be drinking hibiscus tea. This is what I'm drinking tonight. I'm not going to be drinking anything hot. I'm already a little hot. So that's what I'm going to be drinking. I got my tea cup here. Go ahead and get your teacup. Go ahead and get your candle or your infuser. I'm burning an infuser today, or tonight, I should say, or this evening. I'm trying to adjust this infuser, guys, so it won't blow directly in my face. I don't want it to blow in my face. I like the fragrance and all, but I don't want it to blow in my face. So I'm hoping I got it adjusted. Every now and then I may have to readjust it because I do have the fan on and it's blowing all over the place, okay? So let's put it over here. So I don't want it blowing in my face. Okay? Hopefully. All right. Now, it is so pretty. I love this. Hi, Mary Life Journey. Welcome to the live. I hope you're rocking with me this evening, and you're going to be my moderator. I hope so. If not, it's okay. If you can only stay a little while, just moderate for me a little while. So we're talking about this whole series that I'm going to be talking about is the Receiving Woman series, the Receiving Woman episode series, whatever it is that I decide to name it, guys. Trusting the universe to provide, how feminine energy opens you to abundance. Universe, God, whichever one you want to say. Yes, I love the infuser. Girl, this infuser is just beautiful. I love it. Oh my God. I just thought maybe I would burn the infuser tonight instead of the candle. But if you want to burn a candle and you guys want to do the infuser, it's fine. I don't even care. For my wellness warriors that just walked in the room, I am drinking a hibiscus tea. I am drinking something cold, not hot today. I am already hot. I'm already hot, so I don't want to drink anything hot. Okay. So don't forget to thumbs up the live. I have 15 friends in the room. Please thumb up the live. I should have 15 thumbs up if I have 15 people or 16 people in the live. All right. So we're going to get started in a second. I'm just trying to wait till everybody come in the room. The ones that are going to stay. Get your notes, get your journal, get your notebook out. Feel free to take notes, whatever you choose to do. Okay. But I'm going to give you some information that I think is going to help you when it comes to feminine energy. This channel is feminine health and wellness. And sometimes we talk about feminine energy and what is femininity. And we also talk about the health aspects of our mind, body, and soul. So we not only cover physical, we cover everything on this channel. And so we're going to be talking on a spiritual level tonight. So mind, body, soul, and spirit. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. Okay. So hello, wellness warriors. Welcome back to Tea Time After Dark, where we're going to slow everything down. You're going to get a nice chill cup of tea or hot tea, warm tea, whichever you choose. You're going to take a deep breath and you're going to nourish your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit tonight. So we're going to begin a new series called The Receiving Woman. The Receiving Woman. What is that? This series is going to be all about feminine energy, trust, abundance, learning how to become a woman who is open to receiving the beautiful things that life has to offer. All right, so that is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So now, before we begin, I want you to say something important. So I want to say something important. I'm sorry. I want to say something important. Tonight conversation is based on spiritual and personal growth. Okay. So my intention is to simply encourage you to reflect on your own journey, strengthen your inner peace, and become more aware of the opportunities that surround you every day. So grab your teas, let's settle in, and we're going to begin. So what does it mean to trust the universe, trust God, whichever one that you choose to say? What does it mean? So I know sometimes on this life journey that we're on, sometimes we have a tendency to question whether or not things are going to happen in our lives, or sometimes we wish things, will happen in our lives. And we want to know why. Why those certain things that I want to happen in my life, why didn't I deserve that? Or why didn't it come to me? Everybody else around me is enjoying their life. They're at peace. They are they have that dream job. That's what it appears. Or you may meet someone, they are so peaceful and content with themselves, and you just want to know why. What are they doing that I'm not doing? How are they rocking? How are they moving in their world? And how can I get there? And what does it look like? Some people just move and flow through life, and things happen to them, and it don't even seem like they are trying. It just happens. Have you guys ever seen, people like that? It just flow. Everything just flow. So have you ever noticed that some women seem so peaceful? Okay, you might come across someone and they're just so at peace. Everything it seems like it's just going so well for them. It's not a struggle. They are just flowing through life like everything is okay, right? Let me tell you how you get there. It is a journey. It is a way that you can still feel that same peace within, get the same abundance that you deserve. And I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to tell you how. So they aren't consistently chasing. They aren't nitpicking. They aren't trying to force every door open. The right people seems to find them. New opportunities seem to appear to them. It just seems easy peasy in their life. And let's see. Unexpected blessings appear. Peace fills their heart. Many people believe that when we stop operating from fear, and begin operating from trust. I know that we say that we trust God in everything that we do, but do you really, really trust God? Because if you really, really trust God, you would not have any doubts in your heart when you are asking for things. And what doubts look like, ladies, and even gentlemen, wellness warriors, what doubt looks like is when you are saying, okay, you apply for this job and you say, oh God, I don't think I'm going to get it. Oh, I don't think I did good on the interview. Or, oh, I don't think, when you speak in all of that negativity towards that situation, you have already let God know that you don't trust, or the universe know that you do not trust. You're moving in fear. You're doubting your abilities, and you're doubting that you are going to get that particular, job or whatever that situation is for you, right? I'm not saying that everything that you ask for is meant for you. Sometimes a no answer is the right answer. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes a no answer is the right answer. So don't get it confused with, what God is saying no to versus, what is what you are sabotaging, I should say. So many people believe that when we stop operating in fear and begin operating in trust, we become more open to receiving what the universe has already been trying to bring to our lives. Okay? Already trying to bring to our lives. Sometimes we sabotage our own selves of the way we think and the fear that stands in our way. We sabotage our own selves. And we don't even know it sometimes, just by speaking negative and saying, and sometimes you don't even have to speak it. A lot of people say, well, I'm not negative. I don't speak negativity. But sometimes when you are thinking and feeling that way, that is still the same thing as speaking it. That's the same thing as speaking it. Anytime that you feel a certain way, it's the same as speaking it. Okay? So don't forget to thumbs up the channel. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. So when I say trust does not mean doing nothing. When you're trusting the universe or God for something, that does not mean doing anything. Trust means believing that even when you cannot see the entire path, life still is working in your favor. Let me say that again. Even if you cannot see the road ahead of you, know that life is working in your favor. Know that be encouraged, stay positive. The negative thoughts, I'll never, or I can't, or those words that are negatively speaking words, kind of cut that out of your vocabulary and think of, I'm going to, if it's meant for me, it's going to happen to me. But do not ever think that, the negative thoughts, because sometimes we may not be speaking those words, but we are thinking those words. And so you have to be careful on even the things that you think, if you want to, your blessing or your manifestation or whatever you want to call it to come through. Okay. So what is feminine energy? So when we always talk about feminine energy, walking in our feminine energy, trusting in our feminine energy, what is feminine energy? Feminine energy is not being weak. It isn't about depending on someone else to rescue you. True feminine energy is becoming deeply connected with yourself, trusting yourself, being deeply connected with self. Okay, it is learning to receive instead of okay, so learning to receive something. How can I explain this? So learning to receive something instead of forcing it, right? Don't force something. Just learn to receive it. Don't force it. Instead of consistently forcing it, just let it be. Let it flow let it flow and let it be. So it is flowing instead of fighting every battle. It is believing that you are already worthy. So remember in the last video, one of the other videos I talk about knowing your worth, knowing that you're worthy, knowing that you are deserving of whatever it is that comes your way, having that feeling, just almost like saying, hey, I'm a bad mama jamma and I know this is going to happen to me. That is the kind of mindset that you gotta have. You gotta have that mindset. I know, almost like being conceited, but not really conceited, but just knowing, having that confidence, more so like confidence, and knowing that this is going to happen. This is going to, I deserve, better in my life, or I deserve abundance in my life. And abundance can mean an array of things, and we're going to talk about that too. When people talk about abundance, they always think that you're talking about money, but money is not the all be all end all. It is, but it's not the only thing. Abundance goes way deeper than just money. Okay, so it is believing that you are already worthy. Go back and look at that video, guys. I talked about being worthy. Go back and look at the other video. I talked about speaking life into yourself. So now we've spoke life into ourselves. Now that we know that we're worthy, now we're going right here, right now. Now we're talking about getting the things that we are worthy of, getting the things that we done pepped ourselves up. We have talked, spoke positive words to ourselves, speak life into ourselves. Now we are putting all of that into action. And now we are saying, hey, I'm worthy, right? I have spoke life into myself. I deserve that and some. Okay. And that is the confidence and the attitude that you must walk in when anytime that you are asking for something, anytime that you are manifesting something. So when you are operating in a healthy feminine energy, you begin to release the pressure of believing you have to control everything. And that's another thing. Feminine energy is not controlling everything. You cannot control everything. Like, just like it says, Accept the things that you cannot control. That is what I'm talking about. The things that you can't control, accept it and learn how to receive it and learn how to accept it. Release the pressure from believing that you can control everything. Let it go. You cannot control everything. Yes, I know, such and such, or this person or that person, they may need help, or they may need this, and you may want, to be there for them, but you can't. That's something that you have no control over. Just control the things that you can control and stop trying to control everything. Let it go. Let it go. It is not meant for you to control everything. Okay. So instead, this is what we should do. You begin in believing in your faith, your intuition, patience, and trust. So instead of being, we're going to partner with your faith. You're going to believe in your faith. You're going to believe in your intuition. You're going to have patience, and you're going to trust. So just know that if you're asking for something, you're praying for something, have patience and know that it is going to come your way. That is the kind of confidence that I'm speaking that you should have. Know it's going to come your way. And of course, if it does not come your way, I know it's kind of hard to say, but I have learned how to do this. Sometimes I used to get very, very upset, very, very upset if I asked for something, from God or the universe, and it didn't happen to me, or if I wanted this particular job and it didn't manifest and it didn't happen. I also learned that when you're asking for something, right, it may not always be meant for you at that time, if that makes any sense. It may not be meant for you at that time. Not always it's not meant for you, but maybe it's something that you need to learn and grow. Maybe God feels like you cannot handle whatever it is sometimes. And sometimes the whole answer is just no. It is not meant to be in your path to have this or that. So you have to know the difference. And that is when intuition comes into place. You got to know the difference between God, said, no, I can't. This is not going to be on my journey. This is not going to happen in my life, versus your sabotage and your negativity is taking place and you're pushing it away from you. Okay. So you got to know the difference. So what does trusting the universe actually look like? All right. So this is a quick story. This didn't happen to me, but this is a quick story. And this is just something to think about. And this is just a hypothetical, okay? So imagine you're praying for a new job, okay? So instead of worrying every day that nothing is happening, you continue preparing. Okay, let me say that again. This is just a scenario. Imagine you're praying for a new job. Instead of worrying every day that nothing is happening, you continue preparing. And what that looked like is you may update your resume. You may improve your skills. You apply. When you release that anxiety, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about, that anxiousness, that anxiety, that, I'm waiting. Sometimes unexpectedly recognize you for a position. So later on, a week later, someone unexpectedly, when you release that anxiety and let it go, fill out the job, update your experience, your resume, improve your skills, apply for the job, let it go. Almost like forget about it. And then when you do that, you are releasing that anxiousness or anxiety towards that situation. And then a week later, someone unexpectedly recognized you for the position, and even may offer you the job. So that is how that works. So when you're asking for something, let that anxiety and anxiousness go from that situation. Do it with confidence. Know that you're gonna get it. Know that they're gonna call you back. That is how you need to move with that confidence, right? So did the opportunity magically appear? Maybe, maybe not. But when you are letting go of that anxiousness and letting everything be and letting it flow as it should, maybe your heart wasn't filled with fear. Maybe you're emotionally available to recognize the opportunity when it arrived. Okay. So what I'm saying is, in this particular scenario, is like, okay, your heart is filled with fear because you're afraid that they may not call you, or you're anxious or whatever, right? So you're gonna be anxious. You're gonna be full of fear, and your emotions are gonna be unavailable to recognize the opportunity when it arrives. So what I mean by that is, you may even interview for the job. You may even get the job, but your intuition may tell you, no, this is not the job for me. But your anxiousness and your fear is in the way of you seeing whether or not this opportunity could be good for you, even though this opportunity was introduced to you. I'm hoping I'm explaining that where you guys can understand it, right? So it can happen, they can call, but that anxiousness and that fear and all of that can block your intuition from saying, hey, is this job for me? Even though these people call me, right? Is it for me? So when it comes to, I'm going to give you another example of what it looks like when you're trusting. So for example, in a relationship, many women spend years chasing people who aren't choosing them. So healthy feminine energy says something different. I know my worth. I don't have to beg for love. I trust that the right relationship will recognize my value. Instead of exhausting yourself and trying to convince someone to love you, make room for someone who truly will. So stop chasing, just attract the people that likes you. Sometimes receiving means um, letting go, letting go first. So if you know that that person is not for you, you're gonna let it go. Just let it go. It's going to be something in your intuition. And remember what I said, guys. You do not need to know the why, because sometimes things can come up in your intuition. And I know we as women, we always want to know the why, but it's not even important to know the why. That is our safeguard, and that is God telling us that this is not for us. We don't need to know why. And sometimes we stay too long and we find out the why after the fact. Well, we should have listened to God from the beginning, right? So just know that whatever it is, don't always stay for the why. If you feel it in your heart of all hearts and you know that this is not for you, you just sometimes you have to let it go. Sometimes receiving means letting go first, okay? And we have to learn how to do that, ladies. So when it comes to money, all right, because we always talk about, abundance and all of that. When it comes to money, this is another scenario. When it comes to money, let's talk about the money, y'all. Let's talk about this money. Let's talk about the money. When it comes to money, let's see here. Okay, we're going to get to the money because everybody always think of abundance and they always think of money. So this is a scenario when it comes to money. I'm trying to give y'all some ideas and example of what it is that I'm talking about. Okay, so many people think abundance only means dollars. It doesn't. But abundance begins long before money reaches your bank account. It begins in the mindset. I know you guys have heard this before. It begins in the mindset. How do you feel about money? Are you afraid of money? Are you afraid that you're not going to get any money? Are you afraid that you don't have enough money? It's already in your mindset. That is a block from blocking you from your abundance. You got to know that whatever it is, when it comes to money, relationships, jobs, you are worthy. You are worthy. The same thing, different scenarios. You are worthy. You're not afraid, and you deserve it. You are worthy of it, right? So you got to start there. So it starts in the mindset. It begins in your mindset. Okay. So imagine, this is another scenario. Imagine two women consistently saying, I'll never have enough. Nothing ever works for me. I'm always broke. I know you hear a lot of people say that. That is speaking negativity, and you're sabotaging yourself. You are sabotaging yourself. That is one scenario, and we just giving out some different examples about money. So one lady says that. So let's go to the second lady. The second lady, she says, and that goes to again about speaking life into yourself. Anything that you say, anything that you speak, good or bad, doesn't matter. All right. So the second lady say, I believe opportunities are available. I am preparing for the blessings that are coming. That is speaking positivity. That is the other scenario. The lady was speaking negative upon her money, her finances, her abundance, her bank account. But if you want to speak life into your money or life into yourself, I believe opportunities are available. I am preparing for blessings that are coming. I am learning to manage what I already have. I am learning to manage what I already have. A lot of people, they ask for things and they can't even manage what they have. They ask for things and they can't even manage it. So you got to be you got to have your mindset has to be open to it. You're asking for things and you can't even manage the money that you already have. You can't even manage the abundance that you already have. You got to work on that. So I'm learning to manage what I already have. Notice. So notice this. Neither woman has received more money yet, but one has prepared her mind to recognize opportunities. That is the difference. So one is speaking positive, one is speaking negative. So sometimes abundance could arrive in different ways. Not always money, but it can arrive in a business idea. And so you got to understand that being a feminine energy, creativity is our number one. I'm not going to say number one, but it is one of our natural characteristics of being feminine is creativity. We can create some things, ladies. We can create a lot of things. Okay. Another thing is unexpected clients could come your way. A promotion could come your way. Sometimes introducing you to the right person, a scholarship could come your way. Wisdoms that save you thousands of dollars could come your way. And the encouraging to finally start something you've been postponing. So the universe often provides opportunities before it provides outcomes. So you got to always have that your intuition open and mindful. Your mindset needs to be right so you will know when opportunities come your way. And sometimes people reject things that come their way and don't even realize that it is a blessing in disguise because you're not in the right mindset and you're not using your intuition. Okay? You're not in the right mindset and you're not using your intuition. So certain things come by and you miss it. You miss it. So you gotta pay attention, use your intuition. You're gonna be walking in confidence, you're gonna be walking in faith. Those are the things that you need to be walking in. Okay. What else can we receive? When we begin trusting instead of fearing, we may become more open to receiving peace, joy, creative ideas, healing, healthy friendships, divine timing, and confidence. Okay? So when we begin trusting instead of fearing, we may become more open to receiving these things right here. So divine timing, confidence, yeah, those are the things that we going to be receiving. Okay, so okay, hold on, guys. Yes. This is. Oh, okay, that's mine. That's Mimi's. All right. So, guys, y'all know my grandson's always coming over here asking me all kind of questions and different things like that. So, no. So, when we begin trusting instead of fearing, because a lot of times fear always get in our way of our abundance. And so when you are fearing that you don't have enough, if you're fearing that that job may come, or you're fearing that that money is not going to come, or if you're fearing that relationship is not going to work out, sometimes fear get in the way of a lot. So when you begin to trust instead of fearing, you may become more receiving, open to receiving more. Okay, so self-love. Remember, we talked about self-love. So instead of fearing, you may become more open to receiving self-love. So self-love is one of those things that we talked about in one of the other videos. Forgiveness is another thing. You must forgive the people around you. I know we talked about that. I know that it is hard to forgive when people have done you wrong, betrayed you, abused you, misuse you, and I understand that. But in order for you to receive the blessings and abundance that is meant for you, you have to let things go. And sometimes the greatest blessing isn't what arrives. Sometimes it is who you become while waiting. We are learning to grow and heal on this channel, right? So loving ourselves, forgiving, learning what healthy love looks like, resting, and moving in our purpose is all growth and all progress, guys, on this particular journey. So let's move on. What do we say, or how do we stay? How do we stay in our feminine energy? How do we stay in our feminine energy? And we talked about this before. What does it look like, and how do we stay in our feminine energy? So, taking care of yourself, self-love, is how you stay in your feminine energy. Just being, not chasing things that are not for you. Taking care of your body with nourishing food, exercising, resting when it needed, and hydrating your body is staying in our feminine energy. Simple things like putting on earrings and necklace and perfume and different things like that is staying in our feminine energy. Receive help without guilt. Receive help without guilt. You know, they have this thing going on around on social media that Black women don't need a man and all of that stuff. I'm not going to get wrapped up into that, but that is that is the the mess that is going on out in these YouTube streets, TikTok streets, that Black women don't need men. Receiving help without being or feeling guilty. That is a part of staying in your feminine energy. I'm always on this journey of healing, on this journey of being a better me. And so in my class, and I thought that it was something easy, but in our class, we was asked to go out and ask a stranger for 25 cents. And it seems like it was an easy task, right? That was our homework assignment. That it was an easy task. But ladies, when I tell you, we are living in such a world of disarray that we have built as women. We have stepped out of our feminine energy. We are receivers. We are receivers. No matter how it works, this is not something that this is biological arrangement. We are natural receivers, okay? So receiving help without guilt, that means receiving help with, simple things. Opening up a jar of pickles, somebody, a male taking out your trash, down to something as simple as receiving a quarter from a stranger or asking. And that was our homework assignment. And when I tell you guys, that was the most uncomfortable thing that I've ever had to do, because we have been taught as women that we do not need anyone, or we do not need help, or it is or the flip side of it is we get shamed as Black women for asking for help. Contrary to what these streets are saying, we get shamed for asking for help. We get called gold diggers. We get called all kind of names when it comes to that. So that was my homework assignment, was just ask for help without guilt. And once you keep asking, they told us to ask for it for about 4 times until you're absolutely comfortable with asking for something without guilt. And that was the hardest task. Oh my God, the hardest task. I was supposed to do it 4 times. I've only did it once. So I have to challenge myself and be comfortable with it. Not just do it, but be comfortable with it without feeling guilty. So I have 3 more times that I have to do it to a total stranger, ask them for a quarter or a dollar. And that is another way to continue to stay in your feminine energy. It sounds crazy, but that was the homework task that my coach had us to do. All right, so trusting your intuition. Trusting your intuition. Remember, I said we talked about trusting your intuition, ladies, not ignoring it. Stop wanting to know the why. If you get that gut feeling that is not the job for you, that is not the man for you, that is not the situation for you, leave. You do not need an explanation. Just leave. So protect your peace. And the only way that you can protect your peace is leaving those situations that I told you about, and learning how to say no. That's another one. Celebrate small victories. Celebrate small victories. It is okay to celebrate yourself. It is okay to celebrate you. Some people feel guilty about celebrating themselves, but it is okay to celebrate yourself. And that is another way of staying in your feminine energy. How do we stay in our feminine energy? Oh my gosh, I can't talk. And this is the part of that we're talking about. So the more peaceful your heart becomes, the easier it is to recognize the blessings that has been surrounding you all along. Being peace within. Some people and women are very, very grouchy, moody all the time, but just being at peace with where you are, being grateful for what you have, and where you are, right? Um, it makes it easier over time. I'm not saying these things come overnight or whatever, because I have been on this journey, and a lot of these things that I have been challenged to do was very, very hard for me. But I have learned over the last 2 or 3 years to do these things and to be more and more peaceful and grateful for some things. And when I tell you guys, my whole life has changed, and I am so at peace with myself. I am so at peace with where I am now. It's unexplainable, right? It is so unexplainable. I have grown so much in this journey that I am so at peace with myself and where I am in my life. Okay. So the more peaceful your heart becomes, the easier it is to recognize the blessings that you have surrounding you all the time. So listen up, guys. So we're going to ask, I'm not going to be on here all night, but guys, I can rat on and on and on. So here's a question I'd like you to think about tonight. If the universe places an opportunity directly in front of you tomorrow, would you fear? Would you fear? What fear makes you walk away? Okay? If the universe, or if God, place an opportunity in front of you tomorrow, would fear make you walk away? Or would trust allow you to receive it? Think about it. It doesn't matter what the opportunity is. Would you allow fear to take over, or would you allow trust to take over? Sometimes the very thing that you've been praying for has already arrived. You simply haven't recognized it because you've been looking through the eyes of fear instead of faith. You have been looking through the eyes of fear instead of faith. Isn't that something? So we are so afraid. I didn't know fear could be so real. And you're so afraid. You ask for things, but then when the things come, you're afraid to receive them. You are afraid. You're afraid to step out on faith, step out and do those things and receive them. And the opportunity is right in front of you. So repeat a couple of affirmations. It's going to help you. I am worthy of receiving. I choose trust over fear. I release the need to control everything. Those are some affirmations that I'm going to put inside of the description that is going to help you guys. And it says, so I thank you so much, guys, for rocking with me. I have been on for a long time. Beautiful wellness warriors. Thank you so much for spending tea time after dark with me. If tonight's message spoke to your heart, let me know in the comments. Okay. What are you trusting the universe to provide in this season of your life? That is the question. What are you trusting the universe to provide in this season in your life? Okay. So next time in our Receiving Woman series, I'll talk about how to remove the blocks that keep us from receiving abundance, peace, healthy relationships, and financial opportunities. But I have something else for you guys. All right, so tomorrow I'm going to come back. I did it before, but I'm going to come back and do it probably sometime tomorrow for Journal With Me. I'm going to have another series. I did it, I think, last Saturday or Saturday before, Journal With Me. And we're going to kind of follow up on this topic and bring it to the Journal With Me and becoming and receiving woman. So tomorrow, I don't know what time I'm going to be coming on, but come journal with me. And the topic is going to be becoming a receiving woman. And so the first question prompt is that I need for you guys to be prepared to answer tomorrow during our live is, what was the last time, or when was the last time I truly trusted that everything will work out for my highest good? That is a journal prompt. Put it in your journal, think about it, come back and join me tomorrow. And we're going to have journal with me tomorrow sometime tomorrow afternoon. And I'm going to say, guys, I thank you so much for tuning in and tapping into feminine health and wellness. I am your girl, Dominique, and bye for now.